Alright, it's that time of year when my voice is starting to go, but hopefully it'll hold out for this video because this is my weekly pack. So spoilers, if you want to do a blind weekly run, stop the video now because the entire contents of the pack are going to be shown at some point during this video. So on screen here you can see the text that was put out with the social media posts, so Twitter and Discord, describing the pack, and they changed the title and they changed the description, so it's not quite as clear what is actually going on with the pack. So the title is actually Turtle Pack Exchange Program, and the description is half of the pets in Turtle Pack are taking a well-earned vacation, so their friends and relatives from the other packs have stepped in to take over. Alright, we're jumping into some custom packs gameplay here, so it's not just me talking. This is me trying to playtest the pack in customs, which is maybe a little bit on the futile side, but I thought it was, I had at least to make some kind of effort to make sure that it wasn't completely unbalanced, and I'm sure I'll still get complaints from people who aren't very happy with it. But in any case, we did actually try and playtest this as a group. Myself, Rev and Flame did some versus playtesting, but it being the end of the year, we just didn't have much time. So hopefully it works out okay in the end, and if not, then everyone will forgive me. But the idea behind the pack is that pets are going to be replaced by equivalents from other packs. So we start with Turtle Pack and then we start replacing pets. So you can see a couple examples here. Horse gets replaced by Seahorse and Ox gets replaced by Muskox. Those ones are easy because they are the same tier. So Ox and Muskox are both tier 3, so you can just swap them one for one and it doesn't upset the pack at all. However, things get a bit more complicated when you start making other changes. So here are a couple of examples. Camel to Dromedary, which is tier 3 to 2. And then we need to do Peacock to Guinea Fowl, tier 2 to 3 to balance it up. Because you can only have 10 pets per tier in the custom pack, which is the way that the Creator Weeklies are set up. So unfortunately, there aren't a whole lot of just direct pairings like that where you can have, the reverse tiers and just swap them over. So there were quite a few sequences that had to be done in order to balance up the pack and have the correct number of pets per tier. And at the very end of the video, I'll show the entire list of all the swaps that were made. Now, there are plenty of swaps that could have been made. There are pets like dog, for instance, where there are lots of possibilities. I swapped dog for puppy, but you could equally swap it for Doberman, Poodle, German Shepherd. It really just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. And I was also trying to put some combos in there that I like a lot. There are some combos in there that I don't like, but hopefully they won't be too oppressive in this format. So you can see here Nurse Shark. So that is the replacement for Shark. So that's a very easy one-for-one swap. And then Whale is one that initially I did have swapped out. So initially when myself and Rev and Flame tested it, we had Orca instead of Whale. But I decided, Whale is one of my favorite pets. And it was also becoming awkward for some of the other swaps that I wanted to do. So I ended up keeping Whale in there and removing Mushroom. So Whale is essentially the substitute for Mushroom in this pack, in the sense that you can have the Whale swallow Nurse Shark, like in this example. It fires the first volley. Of course, we don't have enough trumpets, and then the Whale Shark's going to end up the Nurse Shark is going to end up at the back. So it wouldn't have been able to fire anyway. But there are also some other pets that aren't very easy to replace. So Turkey is one. I guess maybe I could have replaced Turkey for Chicken, but I am generally not a huge fan of the weekly having sort of 50-50 shop type scaling. So we're not going to do that. But there are other pets that I would have definitely removed if I could have, like Hippo. There just aren't any equivalents to pets like Hippo, and Rhino is another one, although that was less of an issue in my view. So Cobra, easy swap, that's just one for one with Snake. But we having sold the Seahorse here, we don't have any trumpets for the Nurse Shark. So I'm just waiting to such time as I can find the Highland Cow which I need. And Highland Cow clearly is a swap for Cow from pack 1. And when we playtested initially, I had Cow staying in the pack. However, I think Flame just absolutely obliterated myself and Rev very easily by getting early level 2 Cow. And because Waffle is in the pack, then you could just keep generating more milk. And in general, the pack has very limited scaling. So we have Giraffe, other than food that is, we have Giraffe early on. And then it's Seal on tier 5, although clearly that's only going to scale attack. And then Komodo on tier 6, I was very adamant that I was going to remove all of the sort of tier 6 power scalers like Cat. Things like T-Rex can't go in anyway because there's nothing to... they can't replace anything in Turtle Pack. So I was also, as well as not being able to remove stuff like Hippo, there were also a lot of pets that I would have put in, like things that I like, Cuttlefish. I'm trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head. Basically, there are a lot of pets now in the game which do not have an equivalent in Turtle, so I couldn't swap them anyway. And in the background here, we're going to get a tie. And in my head, I was hoping that, I guess we'll see as the week progresses, but I was hoping to see teams like this where you're using Nurse Shark at the start of battle, either with Highland Cow, or given that they actually patched the game very recently, you can actually use Cherry for the start of battle trumpets. In fact, I had a version of this pack ready to go prior to the patch. And then the patch came out and I had to rejig a few things because Hare became available, which means that I could replace Rabbit a bit more fairly. I think I had Rabbit being replaced by Chinchilla originally, which was a little bit of a stretch. And there are some swaps that are definitely a stretch. Like I think I went Anteater for Armadillo because they're just, wasn't anything much closer. So I take the Cherry here. 2 trumpets, not really going to make a whole lot of difference to the Nurse Shark, I think. And there you can see Fig as well. Of course, Fig has been added. I didn't swap Fig in. I felt like having Gariel was close enough to having Dolphin. So yeah, that's something else I tried to do, is that I tried to have, if I was removing something, kind of not, I guess, quintessential to Turtle Pack, I was trying to keep it in as well with a replacement. So, Gariel covers both Crocodile and Dolphin to some extent. I think the only thing that I didn't keep in, that I was intending to keep in, was I had Grapes in to replace Swan. So Swan was swapped for Goose. And then I thought, right, let's just put Grapes in and then we still have the gold generation. But I feel like Grapes is just a real waste of a food slot. So we took it out after the first round of playtesting and replaced it with Potato so that Nurse Shark wasn't going completely ham. So in the actual game here, I give Popcorn to the Whale. I can't remember what the other tier 4s are off the top of my head. But since we have no Mushroom, Popcorn is one of the options. And we're starting to face a whole bunch of pretty egregious custom packs teams. The classic Jerboa, Owl, Worm. So I think we're going to get destroyed here. I guess they're maybe going for the Macaque achievement here. And yeah, not much to do now other than buy food and chocolates. I would like to pill the Mammoth, but I don't think I've seen a pill since I purchased it. I think one of the fun things that you could do with this team would be to, once the Mammoth's gone, put Wolverine up front. So then you're swallowing the Nurse Shark at start of battle, but you're getting the benefit of the Wolverine on the snipes. I'm really hoping to see someone do that when I eventually venture into actually playing this on the live server. And here we end up facing Blowfish, Toad, Hedgehog, another arena classic, custom arena classic. but the trumpets get us the win. So on to 8 trophies, and we pull the mammoth finally. I buy, sell the stoat, and actually get the cobra, which is very fortunate. So I think here I'm just going to take the crane, and then maybe the attack from the taco and hope that it hits the cobra. Yeah, there we go. Although some of it is wasted on the nurse shark that's going to get swallowed up there. And it's a summon team, which is actually perfect. So the nurse shark is going to eliminate an awful lot of summon spawns that they could have had there. The German Shepherd gives so much attack to each of the summons, but it's not going to matter because the nurse shark is going to eliminate one of the pigs, and the retriever comes in, and now we're on 9. So there were a few games where I got pretty far with the pack in customs, despite the fact that there's no crow, no blobfish, we just have chocolate. But I think here you can see that I'm kind of struggling a little bit. And here I rewatched Last Battle just to check how many trumpets I had, whether or not it was worthwhile buying the waffle, which of course now is only +3 health instead of +4. But then turn 19, you're just going to face tiger leopard pretty much nailed on. So yeah, the weekly pack, it was not going to stand up when we got this far. But I was pretty happy with that. So 19 win, and turn 19, 9 wins. And here's another one, just showing a slightly different team, I think. A lot of my games and customs did end up me, trying to pivot into all the late game pets, using turkey, lobster, can, trying to bring in the strong stuff like cow and cow and cobra. Gorilla as well, I think. And a couple of the other things that I really wanted to have in there were the hurt pet deliberate activations in the shop. So we've got hedgehog and badger, and then we've got crane, and then pita bread as well. So hopefully that will mean that I'll when I go in and play this on the live server, there will be people with the permanent coconut on gorilla, or just any pets on their team that are benefiting from having a hedgehog at the front. I guess you could play hedgehog at the front with a crane further back in the lineup. So here, we skip to turn 8 now, and I'm just setting up with alpaca, lobster, and turkey. And we've got the doorhead ant to try and keep us alive. Here we actually removed the pineapple from the woodpecker before it shoots. And thankfully the doorhead ant has the garlic, so we actually get a 1 HP win there, which is quite amusing. Obviously with puppy being added, there is now weakness in the pack, which is something that didn't really exist in Turtle. Well, it doesn't exist in Turtle. But I felt like, there are a couple of teams that were a little bit, I wouldn't necessarily say problematic, but a little bit dubious. For instance, elephant blowfish is there, elephant guinea fowl. So we've got the puppy weakness to potentially mess up those teams, but we also have seahorse. So you can pull the unit from the back and put it in between the blowfish and elephant. So now, having found all these extra turkeys, we're going to go for a full pivot. I think, although you will be able to do this when the pack goes live. I mean, it's already live at time of recording. But I think I was pretty lucky here with the number of turkeys that I actually rolled. Because there's no blobfish, you're not going to be able to just instantly pill blobfish onto turkey and have it level 2 and then set off the sort of chain reaction. There's no goldfish, and because there's no gold generation, it should make the pivoting a little bit harder. But here you can see what happens when you get it perfect. And we're buying a mammoth, and suddenly it's just an absolutely huge unit. Of course, when you're pivoting like this and there aren't any powerful tier 6 scalers like T-Rex, then you're kind of limited on how far you can take that scaling. So yes, we can get our Nurse Shark and other late game units to a higher base stats level when we buy them, but after that, there's really not much more we can do other than just buy food, unless we're going to bring in Komodo. And a decent number of these units can't really function well with Komodo. Although that would also be nice to see is someone playing, an ordered team that is being scaled by Komodo and kind of takes the risk that they're not going to get the correct lineup. When we were playing the testing, Flame actually beat me and Rev playing Elephant Blowfish with Komodo. And so almost every turn, the Elephant and Blowfish were not in the correct position, and yet he was still winning. I think that's more a reflection on myself and Rev than anything else. So here I get the Highland Cow, and since I was trying to do all these Nurse Shark builds, most of them were ending up with Highland Cow because I wouldn't find the trumpet pets early on. So the other trumpet pets are guinea fowl, groundhog, and antelope. And I guess you can use antelope to generate starter battle trumpets as well. It's just that you won't be able to have the Nurse Shark being swallowed by the whale because I think the trumpet would be generated after the Nurse Shark goes off. I'm not actually sure on that one. Maybe that's something that's worth a test. But for now, we're just going to play the full team of tier 5s and 6s with no equipment. Although we do find Cherry, and I probably should freeze Popcorn here because I have the turkey. With no 1-up, the turkey is a little bit more exposed. I mean, you can put potato on it, but since there is Lynx and Wolverine and Gharial as well, it should be possible to remove turkey or remove fly so that they're not completely dominating. At least I've got my fingers crossed for that anyway. So we do take some equipment now, and here's level 3 Rhino Tiger, and the Nurse Shark hangs on with a 1 HP after taking the buff from the Mammoth. However, the Gorilla and Highland Cow both get wiped, but we just scrape the win because I guess we still had the Retriever even though the turkey did hang on. So I'm just going to keep adding the stats to the Highland Cow in the hope that that's going to be good enough with only 2 shots from the Nurse Shark. And this is quite a nice team. It looks like they're going for the Pigeon achievement because the new update had just been released. But the 1-up on the Sea Urchin means that the Gorilla is going to be activated. And they do have trumpets of their own, but the rest of our squad is big enough. So we do actually get a win. So I was pleased with that. Any pack that doesn't have blobfish in it and you manage to get a win in customs, I think you should be happy. So here we are with the full set of all the swaps that I made. And you can see half of the pack was swapped. It was just tier 1 and tier 3 that didn't have the exact 5 swaps per tier. So let me know in the comments below, what would you have done if you were going to revamp Turtle Pack, but only swapping like for like units? So for instance, here we've got Cat for Tabby Cat, Tiger for White Tiger, Ant for Doorhead Ant. Maybe there are some other swaps that I haven't included here that you would have liked to have seen. But yeah, let me know in the comments.